Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Holy cow, I feel like there's so much pressure tonight because I'm following JD and Stacy. Oh my gosh. Wow. Does that guy and gal know how to close out a show or what? Hey, I'm your host, Daniel Stafford, and yes, you are tuning into a special report tonight. This is the Stafford Voice, not our normal programming hour. Normally, we come to you every Monday night, but today, my heart has been pretty heavy. The Holy Spirit has been speaking to me and saying, get out there and say something. I don't care what it is. And actually, I kind of had an idea what it was trying to get me to say. So we put together the special report for tonight, and we're calling it Special Report Terror in San Bernardino. And as always, we are conservative in a world of liberal. And yes, there are many ways to listen. So yes, set that channel as a favorite, whatever you have to do, so you don't get left behind. But don't worry, if for some strange, crazy reason you do miss the show, many minions are going to come out, they're going to waterboard you, they're going to stick some Apple earbuds in your ear and force you to, okay, they're not going to force you to listen, but just sit tight. We'll go ahead and put the podcast up later. You'll be able to catch the replay whenever you can. So there's no need to panic, because, yes, we've got you. And in the case you aren't already following on social media, find me over on the Twitters at Stafford Voice, or you can look me up on Facebook and just search for the Stafford Voice. Also, if you're not already doing so and you are on the Twitters, make sure you follow on Periscope. It's every show, aside from tonight. This is a special report. But typically every week, right before we go on air, I'll give you a typical rundown of what the show is going to be. And, you know, this was kind of a last-minute deal that I tried to dismiss the whole prompting to get on the air tonight and talk to you about what happened in San Bernardino and kind of the stuff that's happened since then. Because it's absolutely absurd. I'm going to get into it here in just a second, but I want to make sure I give some love to the station as well as our affiliates. Without their help, we would have one heck of a time getting out there and talking to you. Also, be sure to do me a favor. Stay up to date with the things going on out there in the world over there at thestaffordvoice.com. Again, that's thestaffordvoice.com. So let's go ahead and dive right into what we've got going on tonight, shall we?
Sensible gun laws work. We've proven it in California.
Prayers and platitudes are not enough.
We all pray for the swift recovery of the wounded. We pray for those who lost their lives, and we feel the grief of their families.
Are we mature enough as a country to look in the mirror and say we have a gun problem?
It could be some right-wing group, for all I know.
A militia group, an anti-government domestic militia group wanting to attack.
Planned Parenthood, actually, of San Bernardino is only a few blocks away.
It's also possible that this was workplace related.
This was a holiday party. Maybe it was called a Christmas party. I mean, there's so many potential triggers here.
Where was the holiday party, which may have been offensive to him?
Gun violence is a crisis of epidemic proportion in our nation. And while it is right to respectfully acknowledge the losses, we can no longer remain silent.
Our thoughts and prayers are not even close to enough.
I'll take a bullet before you do, that's for damn sure. Just be cool, okay?
And so, with that, I'm going to read to you the names that were released who had their lives tragically ended at the hands of Saeed Rizwan Farouk, 28, and Tashfeen Malik, age 27. The names are as follows. Vanetta Bet Badal, age 46. Aurora Godoy, age 26. Isaac Amanios, age 60. Larry Kaufman, 42. Harry Bowman, 46. Yvette Velasco, 27. Sierra Claiborne, 27. Robert Adams, 40. Nicholas Stolosinos, 52. Keen Gwynn, 31. Juan Espinosa, 50. Damian Mines, 58. Michael Wetzel, age 37. Each one of those people had their lives cut short the other day thanks to these radical Islamists. Call it what you may, this was not workplace violence. I don't care that Farouk worked with these people. I don't care that they threw his wife, Tashfeen, and him a baby shower for their 6-month-old a few months ago. I don't care about that. The fact is, 14 people are dead. 21 people were injured. That's a fact. Another fact, that when these two radical Islamists stormed into that room with their guns, they fired roughly 75 or more shots. They had, at one count, I think I saw 1,500 rounds waiting in their SUV. Waiting at home at Farouk's mother's house was their 6-month-old baby daughter, who was led to believe that they were going to a doctor's appointment. When these two radical Islamists were finally put in their resting spot, the San Bernardino police chief reported that the shooters had on black tactical vests. On top of that, they had 2 handguns, 2 assault rifles, all of which, according to the ATF, were legally purchased in the United States within the past 4 years. As the investigation has continued, police and federal agents have searched their home, seizing over 5,000 rounds, 12 pipe bombs, and tools to make IEDs, improvised explosive devices. They also have copies of blueprints on how to build pressure cooker bombs like the ones used in the Boston bombing, like the Tsarnaev brothers used. Investigators have said that Farouk was in touch by phone and social media with subjects of terrorism. Before fleeing, there were 3 explosive devices that were rigged to a remote-controlled toy car. And yet, we're being led to believe that this was workplace violence. You know, something similar to what we saw at Fort Hood. Yet, again, another radicalized Islamic terrorist on the loose. But we are being told that this is not a terrorist attack, that this was workplace violence. Saeed worked with these people. He was at a holiday party. It was a Christmas party that they were having. Something was said, and he got butthurt. Decided he was going to go home, grab his wife, drop the kid off at his mother's house, pack the car full of guns, and go kill people because he was ticked off. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a serious, serious problem in America. This is not spontaneous. These things are planned from the get-go. When they're brought over here and dropped off like these Syrian refugees, they have a motive. And typical news outlets are going to be out there telling you that Saeed Farouk was born here in America. I don't care where this jackass was born. Do you know where his heart was? His heart is fundamentally engrossed in Islam. This isn't homegrown terrorism. This is fundamental to who the hell he is. He goes over to Saudi Arabia on a pilgrimage, meets Tashfeen Malik, knocks her up, applies for a visa, a special visa to bring her here to the States. They have a child. The people that both of these fools went and killed, the people that these two radical Islamic extremists killed months ago, just within the last 3 to 6 months, threw them a baby shower. An act of compassion that these radical extremists have no concept of and will never be able to understand. They have one mission and one mission in life, and that is to spread Islam. You know, it's funny that, and this, I'm going to get into this here in just a second, where you've got compassion versus control. We live in a world where on one side of the spectrum, we have an ideology that says, if you don't agree with us, you must die. And on the other side, we have knowledge of good and evil, where it says, where we are taught, If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I love you anyway. Fundamentally different ideologies. You either agree with me or not. That's their outlook. And that's the same outlook that we see across the political spectrum. Within hours, we're having gun control rammed up our ass so far that it's coming out of our mouth, and the other candidates, the liberal candidates, Hillary Clinton, Martin O'Malley, the one shoving it up our ass so far is none other than the resident Obama. But now you've got Hillary Clinton and Martin O'Malley wanting to shove gun control so far down your throat, you gag quicker than a porn flick. And again, on the other spectrum, you've got people that say, we need to pray for what's happening. We need to pray for those who are involved. Pray for the families who were involved. But who's the radical? Now, an unlikely source, and if you're paying attention to your clock, I'm not taking a break. If I talk to it for another 10 minutes and I make my point and we're done, it's over. If we go up to the top of the hour, we're done. I'm not taking breaks. I just want to get this stuff off my chest and out of my head so I can sleep tonight. But an unlikely source, and shouldn't really come across as unlikely, because this guy is rather outspoken when it comes to guns and what he believes. But, and you know, if you listen to my show, you know that I like metal music. I'm a metalhead. Well, Phil Labonte of All That Remains says that this was an article that I saw today, and I can't for the life of me remember where I saw it, but they were quoting what he was saying, and he said, quote, "Remember a while back when those two dudes grabbed some long guns and headed out to kill a bunch of people at a Draw Muhammad thing in Texas? Remember how that worked out? They got smoked before they could kill anyone. Notice how that load of people died yesterday? Regardless of if you like guns or not, they are out there. In America, there are a whole load of them. Laws didn't work in Paris, and they won't stop this stuff here. The police will do everything they can to help you when you get there, but till then, you're on your fucking own. Most of my friends don't think it's weird to have a rifle in the truck or car all the time. There's nothing wrong with having a small bag with a first aid kit and a handgun in your desk or toolbox at work. Get your local carry license, go to a couple of classes, have a first aid kit, and have a gun." On the other side of the spectrum, Gerald Rivera, good old Geraldo. Jerry Rivera tweeted out, now again, this was hours within the actual attack. He tweeted out saying, quote, "Mass shooting in San Bernardino, California at a center for the developmentally disabled, WTF. The Second Amendment is stupid. Don't rationalize." Well, Jerry, let me rationalize this, I'm not going to say it. But let me rationalize this. 2 weeks ago, you were bawling your little ass out on Fox News, crying and praying for the safety of your daughter, who just happened to be in Paris at the time of that attack? Why is it okay to pray for your daughter, but not those here at home? Why is it okay for cops, the FBI, the ATF, Bureau of Land Management, the Secret Service, why is it okay for them to have guns, but not us? That's the point for the Second Amendment, you frickin' asshole. The Second Amendment is to protect yourself from the government. It is to protect yourself and your family and your loved ones from jackasses like you that don't want you to be able to protect yourself. Kiss my ass. Rationalize that, you piece of crap. Hillary Clinton and Martin O'Malley can do the same damn thing because both of them tweeted out pretty much the same thing. Hillary Clinton tweeted out, "I refuse to accept this as normal. We must take action to stop gun violence now." Well, I'll tell you what, Hillary, why don't you do this? Tell the Secret Service to kiss your ass. You don't need them, and you don't need their guns. You can do it on your own. Martin O'Malley tweeted out, horrifying news out of hashtag San Bernardino. Enough is enough. It's time to stand up to the at NRA and enact meaningful gun safety laws. Let me tell you this about gun laws. They don't work, dumbass. Gun laws don't work. Look at California. If gun laws worked, these two jackasses wouldn't have been able to go on a shooting spree. I don't think it was because of climate change either. It's irrational to think climate change could cause this. Funny thing about gun laws and guns. Funny thing about guns, how did the cops stop these two radical Islamic extremists from killing more people? Oh, that's right. We have a winner. It was guns. The other side of the spectrum is this. And I'm just going to quote from you 3 of the names on the Republican ticket. Donald Trump tweets out, again, all of these tweets happened within hours of this attack, of this terrorist attack in California, in La La Liberal Land, where unicorns fart bubbles and they piss pixie dust. Donald Trump tweeted out, "California shooting looks very bad. Good luck to law enforcement and God bless. This is when our police are so appreciated." Ben Carson tweets out, "My thoughts and prayers are with the shooting victims and their families in San Bernardino." Ted Cruz tweets out, "Our prayers are with the victims, their families, and the first responders in San Bernardino who willingly go into harm's way to save others." This is a difference of good versus evil. This is the difference between right and wrong. It's wrong to immediately accuse an inanimate object of going on a shooting spree rather than rationally look at the cause which is radical Islamic extremists. You know, since all of this happened, I conducted an experiment over the last few hours. Over the last 24 hours, I conducted an experiment. I took my gun, I left it loaded, I laid it in the middle of the floor, and I told it, you know what? Do what you do. And you know what happened? Not a damn thing! The gun is still sitting in the same spot! The only gun control I'm worried about is making sure I take a deep breath before I apply slow and steady pressure with the pad of my index finger on the trigger while staring down those two sights and getting ready to blast a hole in something that's coming to take something from me or my family. That's gun control. That's gun control. You don't disarm the people, because when you disarm the people, you take away their fundamental right to what we find in what? Those silly little pieces of paper that liberals like to laugh at and toss to the side and say, these things are old, they're outdated. Or they evolve. They need to evolve with the times. No. Taking away our guns takes away our right to liberty, life. You know, two of those fundamental things that we need. It's not a living, breathing document. It is fixed, unchanging. If you don't understand that, pick up a damn history book and read it. An old school history book. Not a new one that's full of Common Core crap that tells you that Obama is king. Because quite frankly, the emperor has no clothes. He has no idea what he's doing. He's so far in over his head. And he realizes it. He can't even believe his own lies anymore. But he wants each one of you to. Look, this is about right versus wrong. This is about life versus death. Do you value life or not? On the liberal side of things, they don't care about life. They just want to control things. They want to take away your guns, but they want to be able to control you and say, no, your area needs to take Syrian refugees. We don't know anything about them, but you need to take them anyway. They're okay people. Oh, well, you need to look at the Bible, and what does the Bible tell you? The Bible says that you need to open your house, and you need to be a little more nicer to people. That's not how any of this works. Not how any of it works. The way this works is you either choose right or you choose wrong. And if you choose wrong, you're going to give up your life. You're not going to be able to protect yourself. Now, to be quite honest, I honestly don't really have anything else to say about this, other than how disgusted I am at so many people out there that want to shove gun control down our throats. It's not about gun control, because California has some of the most strictest gun laws in the United States. And yet, this attack still happened. So, you can take your gun control and stick it far enough up your ass that you start choking on it. And don't tell me who I can and cannot pray for. Don't tell me that I can't pack heat to protect myself and those around me. There's plenty of people out there that are growing tired and weary of these lies. And you know what? That's all I've got for tonight. I don't have anything else in me. I really don't. I don't have anything else to say. If I did, I would just repeat myself, and I would sound like a bunch of CNN kooks. That's all I've got for tonight, and I want to thank you for tuning into this impromptu special report tonight on the terror in San Bernardino. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, I pray for each one of you day in and day out. I pray for you by name. My family prays for you. I not only pray for each one of you, but I pray for all of our first responders, that they may have the knowledge and understanding of how to continue to protect us from these tragic evils. I pray that the Spirit may enlighten those around you and come to a better knowledge of good versus evil. And you know what? God willing, come Monday night, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, we'll be back. The Stafford Voice will be back. I am your host, Daniel Stafford. Please follow me on Twitter over at the Stafford Voice. That's on the Twitters at Stafford Voice. You can look me up on Facebook by searching for the Stafford Voice. If you have any questions, comments, or stories that you would like us to cover, please go ahead and feel free to email them to us at thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Again, that's thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. I will answer every single one of them, whether it's nice or not so nice. I will answer you back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. And until next time, thanks and God bless.